What's going on, guys? My name's Ivan the Terrible. This is going to be my very first YouTube video starting off on this channel, and let's see where we go from here. I'm hoping for this to be a fun and additive channel going into your lives, the same way that many channels that have brought me to this point and who I am politically, logically, and everything else. So I'm hoping that what those channels have done for me, this will do for you. I want to call this very first channel Take the Red Pill. The reason for that is, as I grew up coming into the United States when I was at a young age, I am an immigrant from Portugal, and when I moved here, I was told by my family, hey, vote blue no matter who. Up until very recently, my mother still voted blue no matter who. It could have been somebody with the last name Stalin, and she would have voted as long as they had a D next to their name. I don't honestly know when I took the red pill. I simply started paying attention to things around me in my life and started to apply logic to many things that were being brought to me. I started asking questions. And something that I realized was most people on the ideological left don't ask questions. At the very least, they think they ask questions, but they're not really asking, or they don't really want those answers. When I bring those same questions up to many people I have in my life who are on the left side of the aisle, it usually ends up being a debate or a contest of calling somebody whatever ism or ist there is out there to try to discredit their opinions. And if you ask me, as soon as somebody starts to call you a racist, a fascist, a misogynist, a whatever ist, it's popular these days with everybody. When those things start coming out, especially just out of strictly, I don't like what you're saying, that tells me everything I need to know about the person I'm communicating with. Now, going back to the topic of take the red pill. Right now, everything that's going on politically, everything with Ukraine, everything with Hunter Biden's laptops, with inflation, with COVID, with everything else. I ask you guys, whoever is listening to this, think about the things that have oh so quickly changed in the matter of minutes, hours, days, and how quickly one standpoint that was applied to people on the right, including our previous president, all of a sudden don't apply whatsoever in any fashion. When the election was going on, the Hunter Biden email laptop shenanigans was happening. It happened. It was there. But you know what we were told, and everybody was told? It's Russian disinformation. It's propaganda. This is the right-wing machine just working, etc., etc. Well, isn't it interesting that every place known to man, primarily on the left, was calling it all that? And the very, very few places that hold the ideological right view was seeing it for what it was. Yet we were told we were crazy. We were told we were conspiracy theorists. And yet here we are in what? The very, very beginning of 2022. And now articles are coming out stating, yes, turns out that the Hunter Biden laptop was real, that the information on there is credited, that actually, yes, he did sleep with many prostitutes. Yes, it's coming out that he did take many business dealings with Ukraine. Yes, it does turn out the big guy was Joe Biden. Sounds to me like all the things that us on the right were stating before, yet now it's becoming reality. Something I think is very important about this fact that these things are coming out now. When someone tells a lie, it's very, very easy to tell that lie. It's very easy to go with that lie. And yet, we want to say that that's not right, that that doesn't work. We'll call it that. It doesn't work. But it does. The easiest thing Democrats can do is just lie about what is and isn't reality, and then maybe sometime down the line, slowly but surely admit, actually, turns out that this wasn't a lie. So let's think about this. You have a friend. Said friend has a boyfriend. You say, hey, I don't like that boyfriend. I want to get rid of said boyfriend and get him out of the picture. So you fabricate a lie. You say, hey, I saw your boyfriend at blank bar hitting on blank girl. I saw him doing this and that. Your friend goes, my God, really? You swear up and down that, yep, absolutely you saw that. You cause a giant fight because you said a lie. That boyfriend stands his ground and says, absolutely not, that did not happen. Well, now what does that look like? To the girlfriend, it looks like he is just peddling a lie, that he is trying to cover his own you know what, and let's say that turns into now there's distrust in the relationship, and now they break up. Awesome. You got your end result finished. Fast forward 6 months later. You're having drinks with your friend. Something happens to come out, and you go, oh, yeah, actually, yeah, I'm not actually sure. I don't think it was him, Maybe it was him, but I don't know. He definitely wasn't doing anything wrong. Whatever it might be. Whatever you choose to admit. You're basically admitting, actually, yeah, my information might have been wrong. I might have steered you the wrong way. Your friend probably will be pissed at you. They probably will be. But guess what? The damage is done. It's already 6 months after. The damage has been done. That guy probably has moved on, said, F this, and now that's irreversible. So whether or not you've come out with the truth, it can't change anything. It won't change anything. Same is true today. We were told during the elections this whole Hunter Biden thing was BS. It didn't exist, wasn't real. It was just the Russians, aka it was Donald Trump because he's in cahoots with the Russians. Even if places admit later, actually we were wrong. Guess what? Nobody pays attention to that. Those things don't get headlines. Those things don't become top stories on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, DEFG. They don't get put on those places as headlines and breaking news. At best, there'll be a little cliff notes or a little asterisk at the bottom of the page. Why? Because they'll be able to say, actually, we did correct the record. It's not to the same degree and level that they made the initial claim, but they'll maybe be able to say, sure, we did correct it. Think about that. These are people who are lying to us all the time. They know they're lying to us. Does anybody believe that when this happened with the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden fiasco, does anybody believe that this wasn't true? Does anybody believe the information that was there and saw the information that was there and said, this can't be real? Maybe people on the left who were thinking, oh my God, we're screwed. Sure, those people were saying that. But anybody who had some common sense and could actually piece together their own puzzle could look at that and go, Yeah, this is pretty clear. Yet, here we are. And notice, look around you. Nowhere near the type of headlines that there should be. I've recently communicated with a number of people who have been on the left for a very long time. And over these last few months, they've made a shift. Why? Simple. Because I communicate with them about logic and reason. And I hit very, very specific points about, does this make sense? Is something fair? And would you want it done to you? Usually with those three things, most arguments I've had with people about political lefts and rights change very clearly. Because when you start hitting people with, does this make any logical sense? If somebody really isn't applying logical sense, they can see it themselves, and they can either choose to keep up the ruse, or they can admit and go, okay, you've got some points here. Hell, friends that I have who still adamantly stick to the left, they know that they're wrong. I see it. When we have arguments, I see when they falter in their beliefs. I see when you throw a small little bit of logic their way, how their narrative and their argument crumbles. I've seen it all the time. Pun intended. Left and right. I've been red-pilled for a very long time. And it is something that I believe is truly an awakening. Because I've started to realize that seeing things with honesty and logic and common sense and decency fall on one side of the aisle. Now, am I telling you that Republicans and conservatives don't do anything wrong? Absolutely not. They do. They have their own problems, and that is totally fine. Everybody is flawed. Me, you, everyone is flawed. But do I believe that there is one side of the aisle that is malicious, perpetual liars, and they want nothing but to destroy the wonderful, amazing things that this country stands for? That they want to destroy the good in this country instead of making the bad better? I 100% believe that. I believe that as an immigrant to this country, as a minority, as somebody who you should look at and go, yeah, this person probably has reasons to be a Democrat. I look at these things and say, what does any of that have to do with the way I look at life and the way I look at politics? I shouldn't be judged by my skin color. I shouldn't be judged by my status of how long I've lived here or if I was born here. None of that should be a factor, but yet we live in a world that it is. I very much suggest that anybody who wants to follow me on this channel, I am going to communicate with you, share my opinions with you, and hopefully bring people on as a conversation to the different ways of looking at life and how the political spectrum is only getting more and more divided, whether we look at this through tinted lenses, whether they are red or blue, and ultimately, I wish to help open up people's eyes the same way that certain figures that I've listened to and watched over my lifetime have helped me open up my eyes. So with that, this is going to be my intro. I hope you enjoyed my little bit so far. Join me for this fun ride. Ivan a Terrible out.